Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to all of the Cancers out there. If you are a Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, or North Node, this is your tarot reading for the upcoming month of November. And in case anybody is interested, I will be using the Star Tarot deck today. So let's see what November has in store for all of you Cancers out there. So I didn't even realize until halfway through I was shuffling. When I scooped up the deck from my desk, the world was left on the desk. I guess it was the last card in the deck when I went to pick it up, and it just stayed out. It So that was the first one out. The second one was the Sun. Third one was Nine of Cups. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have the Seven of Cups as well. So, Cancer, this is a very fruitful energy that I think has been a long time coming for you. I think the Seven of Cups is more of a choice that you have already made. It's almost as if you were stuck in a cycle, and I don't like to use the word stuck because you were exactly where you needed to be as you were going through it, but you were in this cycle for quite some time of maybe feeling down on yourself, feeling insecure, and letting the voice of the other, whether positive or negative, kind of infiltrate the way you feel about yourself. And there came a point where you made that choice to say, I can either let these incessant voices and nagging things make me feel bad about myself, bring me anxiety, take me out of the present moment, or I can make the choice to just really fully step into my authentic being. Let my innocence shine. Let my innocence and sensitivity be a superpower rather than a hindrance. And let me use that curiosity and lust for life as a way to reconnect with my pure, authentic soul. And it's like you were reborn in that moment. You were reborn. You can see in this one, it's a butterfly with the baby, the sun baby. It's a butterfly with the baby coming out of it, which is saying they have metamorphosized themselves. And it's not destroying the old. This is a very similar theme to the Gemini reading. It's not destroying the old, it's transforming. It's revamping, it's reigniting, it's becoming anew from the old. But the newness, the butterfly, could not have existed without the caterpillar. So it's also a recognition of where you've been and how you are using that to influence where you're going now from a more positive, more authentic standpoint. And I say this cycle that you've been stuck in for a while is coming to an end because the world is the last card of the major arcana. The world represents completion. It represents wholeness. It represents becoming one, not only with yourself, but with the universe. You can see, and there's butterflies on this one too. Same thing with Gemini. I swear, all the butterflies. Um, Butterflies, turtles, and it's just a cocoon. It looks like she is wrapped in a dove, in a white dove, with the nest above her head. It's abundance, it's authenticity, it's fertility, it's new, it's the whole cycle, it's life, it's death, it's becoming, it's accepting, it's all of it. It's all of it. And so that emphasizes what I just said before. It's not that you destroyed the old self to become the new self, you integrated it. And because you integrated it, you are able to step into that authentic divine nature that is your being, that is your authentic being. And it's such a beautiful energy. And not only that, you feel proud. You feel proud of yourself for being this person now because it took a long time, I'm getting. And again, it's mostly because that world is here. This cycle is something that has been part of you for a long time. And now that it's complete, you are allowed to feel proud of yourself for moving through exactly what you needed to move through to get to where you are today. So don't take this pride as a bad thing. In this case, it's you should be proud of how far you've come and how far you still have to go because not only is the world completion, it's also new beginning. Again, I don't know if you can tell with the quality, but that's a bird's nest with 3 eggs. So it also connects to that collaborative nature with others, with all that we see in the threes. It's just a newness, and it's the old completion of the old to welcome in the new. And so yeah, 3 of these cards also have the white dove because the world has it, the Nine of Cups has it, and the Seven of Cups has it. So that theme of peace, that theme of overwhelming connected peace is also a part of you. And you are able to feel that peace now because you moved through, again, past tense, you moved through the muck and the guck and in some cases the trauma that has been trapped in your body for so long, and you finally allowed yourself to release it. Release it, give love to that version of yourself for getting it to where you are today and integrating it and becoming anew. And again, allowing that innocence to drive you now, that curiosity, that natural wonder for the world, that lust for life. And it really is, this is quite beautiful energy, Cancer. I'm going to emphasize you should feel proud of yourself for how far you've come. You should absolutely feel proud of yourself for how far you've come. Oh, the Six of Cups as well. That goes into that idea of not destroying the old, allowing yourself to reminisce on the old, because where you've been in the past is exactly what brought you to where you are today. It's exactly what brought you to this feeling of just authenticity and balance and love and connection to everything around you. So even through your hurt, you're able to now look at those traumas and those pains and those sorrows through a lens of love and recognize that, maybe you didn't deserve to go through what you did, but you're almost happy you did now because it's brought you exactly to this moment of divine connection, of wholeness within your being, of connection with source, of magic and of beauty and of authenticity and of connection with yourself and satisfaction with where you are and where you're going. It's brought the end of this cycle and therefore the ability to start anew from this new standpoint of just being in your full divine authentic nature. Funny, the shuffling's taking some time too. So Queen of Wands reversed. Let me show you that one. It's interesting that it's a reverse energy. How does that one read in this one? Can I get clarity for the Queen of Wands? I don't know if you guys just saw that. There we go. Okay, well, that's still about half the deck. So let's try shuffling one more time. There's like 12 cards in that pile. Right. Interesting. Okay. Okay, that's why it's reversed then. That's why it's reversed. And then this, so another seven as well. Oh, and it's interesting. I even made that note earlier, and now I see why. Where I mentioned that pride isn't something you should be ashamed of. It's actually something that you deserve to feel right now. So it's interesting that we see the Lion in the Seven of Wands and in the Queen of Wands reverse. So it's almost like, that's why I said it's interesting. I even made that note about pride because it's not something I usually have to disclaimer. We also had the Devil come out, by the way. Um, with the Ram on here. And Aries is a prideful sign, so it's possible Aries might have something to do with what's going on. But if you're used to discomfort, if you're used to being hard on yourself, if you're used to those incessant voices that don't belong to you to be clouding your own judgment of yourself, and then all of a sudden you're feeling this authenticity, you're feeling this satisfaction, you're feeling this sense of just really balance and completion and the ability of choice, it can become jarring if you're not used to it. And you can then, therefore, fall back into old patterns, old habits that keep you down, keep you from being authentic, keep you from expressing your true, genuine, divine nature. And I think that's what's happening here with that pride piece. Um, so with the Seven of Wands, I think there's ultimately like you have the ability to really be in that power and to be satisfied. And not only that, but like this is a magic woman. Like this is a shaman. This is somebody who's connected to herself and to the cosmos and to everything. She has the path from the soles of her feet up to her heart. She's holding her heart. And there maybe you were taught before, interesting, that the Page of Pentacles was beneath her as well, or beneath the seven as well. It's possible you were previously taught that you're supposed to be humble, and that could have been familial or societal conditions, that you're supposed to be humble and You can't be overly proud of yourself or overly confident because then that's cocky or whatever. Fill in the blank, you know? And I think that's why that Queen of Wands energy is reversed because it's almost like you are battling within yourself this old conditioning that tells you you shouldn't be in your full power, connected to your intuition, connected to the divine. As you can see, she has that divine flame right above her crown. She's creative, she's connected to herself and to the universe. And she's got both her waking conscious mind and her dark feminine unconscious mind working with her, not one against the other, not her against the two of them. It's all congruent when it's upright, but it's reversed because you're still unlearning. This is so similar to Gemini's message too. You're still unlearning things that have been like factory input into your subconscious from a very, very young age. And because of that, it's almost like it's stopping you from tapping into that true magical divine nature. And not stopping you. You are tapping in, and I'm going to use the same metaphor I use for Gemini. It's like on our journey of healing and becoming more ourselves, we can take 7 steps forward, 3 steps back, 8 steps forward, 2 steps back. It's like this oscillating thing where ultimately we are making progress in the long run, but we will stumble backwards a little bit. And that's okay because as we stumble back, I personally learn best through trial and error. When I get things wrong is when they're solidified in my mind. Okay, this is the right way. So maybe that's what you have to do to learn how to trust in your intuition and find that creative spark and move this energy to the upright position. Integrate both your conscious and unconscious self, tap into that dark divine feminine to help lead you rather than being afraid of it. And I think that's important too. It's not being afraid or not shutting out any parts of yourself. Showing love to all parts of yourself, including and especially the traumatized, the hurt, the one who has hurt others. They're all an aspect of you. And the more you try to bury or pretend those sides of yourself don't exist, the greater they get, the harder they get to control and the less connected to your authentic nature you are. In order to be fully in your authentic power, you need to harness all of yourself. You need to love all of yourself. You need to forgive all of yourself. So, this magical essence is here for you to tap into. This upright energy is here to tap into, but it's going to take unlearning. And that's where the devil comes in. Sometimes the devil can be vices, but other times it can be things you know don't align with who you are now. It can be you just blindly following tradition because it's easier than, clear cutting the forest to forge your own path. It could be it could be just staying in the discomfort of anxiety, of uncertainty, of confusion because it's what you're used to. So just keep this in mind. As you're taking your steps forward, the devil, in this case in the tarot, not religious speaking, but the devil being your unconscious bad habits you know aren't right for you consciously, but you still let them control you. That might be what's causing you to stumble back. But again, you're ultimately making progress. So every one stumble back, you're taking 3 steps forward. So it's important to be easy on yourself as you move through all of these lessons and what does come up. Because ultimately what's coming up is only coming up because it's something that you don't want to take forward with you. Just got like a little hiccup burp there. So it's almost like you might be clearing your throat chakra as well. In the past, you've been silenced for whatever reason, and that's clearing up as you're working through these unconscious habits, these unconscious just yeah, habits, I guess is what wants to come forward. Just keep that in mind, especially in the month of November. And I think that's what's going to be happening during the month is you are going to start really seeing true forward progress, especially internally. Like you're going to feel like a new person. And then, those old habits are going to knock right behind you and be like, we're still here. What are you doing? But it's only so you can acknowledge them, like rip the curtain down, acknowledge these old habits for what they are, which is a part of you that just wants to be seen and heard and loved. Give it that love, give it that acknowledgement, feed into it. Because the more you feed into it, it's like when a kid is crying, right? Like a toddler. There are some parents who say, "Oh, just let them cry it out, that's fine," and sometimes that's the way to do it, and they end up calming themselves down. But for a child that wasn't given the proper love and attention they needed as a baby, they're not going to learn just to calm themselves down. They're gonna get louder and louder and louder and louder and louder because they are starved for attention, and it's when they get that attention that they're finally able to soothe themselves. It's like you need to soothe that inner child that didn't get the love or attention it needed in its time of need. And it might not even be your inner child, it could be your inner teenager. It could be just in her early 20s, you know? It's just a younger version of you that felt that it didn't get what it needed in its time of need. That's what's going to be calling out for you. That's what's going to be trying to keep you in this period of discomfort because the discomfort's all it knows. But it's your duty again to give love to that aspect of yourself. Show attention to that aspect of yourself. Wow. And as you do that, so we had the Two of Pentacles jump out and then the Six of Wands at the bottom of the deck. I love the Six of Wands energy in the tarot. It's celebration. It's not only celebration of the self, but it's being celebrated by your community. So it's almost as if the more you give yourself that love and attention that you are trying to seek outside of yourself, the more you will be falling more deeply in love with yourself, and then therefore shining out your authentic beacon of light out to the world, which is going to help you find your tribe, your people that want to celebrate you in your authenticity. And they will help you integrate the idea that there is nothing wrong with any aspect of myself. The loud aspect of myself that when I was 7, I was told I need to be quiet or nobody's ever gonna want to be my friend, or when you were a teenager and you started to find that promiscuous side of yourself, but then you were told you were a salute. Again, don't know what I can say on YouTube or not, but you were told that you were bad for that. And so you had to shove her down in a box and pretend she doesn't exist and be the perfect example of what a perfect housewife should be. Even at the young age of 14, we're always being subtly programmed, especially women. We are always being subtly programmed to be less of ourselves. And if we do step into that full authenticity, we're labeled the B word. We're hard to work with. We're fill in the blank. It's always negative. Well, I shouldn't say that. In the past, in society, it has been a theme that women fully in their power are seen as a threat rather than something to be praised and celebrated. But as you start to integrate all of these aspects of yourself, you shine your authentic beacon. And yeah, there will be some people that'll be like, she's too much, and they're not your people. But as you tap into that authenticity that the sun offers, that you're shining your light outward, you are making it easier to spot you for the people that are genuinely here to help you grow, that want to celebrate you, and that you can therefore give your own celebration back to them because it's a process of co-creating. We do most of our healing on our own, but then once we get to that point where we're like, okay, I've healed the darkest parts of my trauma, I've integrated all of it. Now let's go and find these relationships, find these friendships that will help me see myself in a mirror. And so we can both help each other grow through that relationship as well. And again, the Two of Pentacles came out as well. So it's almost like weighing a decision where it's are you going to let your mind and the unconscious habits of your past hold you back? Or are you going to bravely charge into the night, into your own unconscious, and recognize that everything within you is here to work with you, not against you? The more you learn to integrate that, the more you are moving towards your own success, however you define success. It's just that initial choice of saying, oh, I thought the Two of Swords came out in this reading. I guess it didn't. But this is a similar symbolism to the Two of Swords. You can let your unconscious solely rule your decision making, or your conscious solely rule your decision making, or alternatively, your soul versus your heart, your ego versus your spirit, however you want to say it. Or they can work in congruence with one another. Because when you have just one, it's very top heavy. When you have just the other, it's falling down. When you have both, it makes this gorgeous infinity symbol where you're saying, I've been here before, I know the lessons, I'm here again, and I'm here to master it. And I'm here to master my path on this earth as well. That only happens when you learn to integrate rather than shove away. So that's what November offers. You're really going to be stepping into your divine authenticity. You're going to be seeing your external environment start to shift because your internal environment has already shifted. And it's just being mindful of those unconscious habits that are trying to hold you back in your own discomfort. So again, 8 steps forward, 3 steps back. It's okay when you stumble backwards. Just be easy on yourself in that process. Because ultimately, you are still making a lot of progress forward and you are ultimately continuing to tap into this authentic divine nature. You're completing cycles that you've been in for a long time, and you're making the active choice to choose yourself instead of letting your unconscious vices win. And just one more note that I want to make about the lions, because I think that was emphasized with the Six of Wands as well. Not only are you allowed to be prideful with yourself in and there's a healthy way to express pride. That's why I want to emphasize that. But not only that, but lions run in prides. They run with their people. So the more you heal that aspect of yourself that tries to hold you down or doesn't allow you to be proud or satisfied with the work you've already completed, the more you're keeping yourself away from your people, from your pride from finding you. So just keep that in mind. It's all about divine integration and becoming so in love with yourself of all aspects of yourself that even the darkness no longer scares you. The darkness is a part of you. The light is a part of you. It's all a part of you. And it's all just you wanting more love and acceptance. Stop looking for it outside of yourself and use November to really tap in. Because when you tap in within, you are then able to share your gifts outwardly. And then again, that beacon goes out and your people can find you. Oh, it was beautiful and like peaceful. It was a really peaceful reading, Cancer. But of course, with all of that said, this was a general reading, so it's possible not everything resonated. If that is the case and you want a personal reading, you can book with me in my website, linked in the bio below. If you're also interested in astrology or human design, you can book directly with me on there as well. And numerology is coming soon, so keep a lookout for that. But otherwise, Cancer, if this did resonate at all, if you just liked the message, leave me a like, leave me a comment, tell me how it resonated. I would love to have a chit chat with you. And of course, we do this every single month for all of the signs. So if you're interested in getting your forecast for the month ahead with the tarot cards, I suggest you subscribe to my channel. I would love to see you here in the future. But again, Cancer, I feel very peaceful. I feel very peaceful right now. So even as you navigate through whatever this aspect is for you, you're going to navigate it. It's not going to be chaotic. It's not going to be like something that rocks your world. It's just like a like subtle reminders, like a little paper clip in the book that's saying, "Oh, wait, we got to revisit this page." Revisit the page, reread it, say, "Okay, so this is why we're coming back here. Now I understand." So you can move forward. But ultimately, like you are tapping into your divine, authentic nature, your beauty. I just want to show you the first cards that came out too. Once again, the world, the Nine of Cups, the sun, the Six of Cups. Like they're just gorgeous, they're colorful, they're bright, but they're also dark because it's about that integration. I love you guys.